none other than our beloved Jayshree ma'am. Many of us are already familiar with her, but few of our new friends are eagerly waiting to know more about ma'am. Now, I request ma'am to come onto the dais and please take a seat. I request my friend Sloka to present a sampling as a token of love. Now, I request my friend Tanishka to introduce ma'am to the audience. Miss Jayshree Hatangadi works as a heritage narrator and tribal community facilitator. She comes from a rich professional background in business development. After having worked in Chennai and in the Middle East for more than 2 decades, she relocated to Vizag, where she had spent a part of her childhood. Here, she found new horizons to explore and developed an enduring interest in Vizag's fascinating heritage. She regularly leads groups of heritage enthusiasts to explore Vizag's ancient past. Earlier, in a quest to improve primary education of Adivasi children, she travelled extensively in the agency regions of Vizag. In the process, she acquired an interest in understanding the arts, customs and traditions of the Adivasis in the district. She has travelled to 36 countries on work, business and leisure travel. She has deep family roots in Vizag and a passion to place our city on the World Heritage Map. Her hobbies and interests are singing loudly while driving, creating new games for playing with tribal school children. Understanding people, tapping talents, pursuing passion with enthusiasm, with a single mission to succeed every step of the way, is her key to success. Let's welcome the powerful woman with a huge round of applause. Now, I request Ms. Jayshree Hatangadi to address the audience with her enlightening words.
Very good morning to all of you. Although she's read my bio, it's a rich experience. Believe me, my experience with your school has never been richer than ever. We've been part of together, doing so many events. You are young students today, but here we have Jyoti ma'am, here we have teacher here, where many of them will tell you that I've been part of your school, embedded inside for years, right? Maybe I think 2008 onward. So that is years I've been part of. So when a person like myself today at 67 and about so many years back, when you say what is your experience, this is my rich experience, sharing about heritage, sharing about inputs, sharing about life and sharing about our tribal areas right here. That's been my life. In fact, my old biodata should be not spoken about anymore. This is where it is. So very good morning to you, and I always love to introduce myself as Visakhapatnam's heritage narrator. Yes, and I have got the beautiful opportunity of speaking to so many people who live in Vizag, who come from other places as visitors, as tourists, as students, as so many different, to take them around to our city and tell them about our heritage, which is our pride. How many of you know when is the World Heritage Day? 18th April. Yes, it's on 18th April. So that's how many days? Just day after tomorrow. Today is the 16th. So I was originally supposed to come tomorrow, but we have Ram Navami, which is equally a very big festival for us. And on 18th is World Heritage Day. So the World Heritage Day, which falls on 18th April, 1983 they decided, UNESCO. Do you know the expansion of UNESCO? Educational, scientific, cultural. Very good. So it's an organization that handles many things across the world and across all these topics. But there's an international monuments and sites that handles heritage aspects itself. In 1983, they decided to declare 18th April as World Heritage Day. Do you know why we declare days? Huh?
To celebrate the importance.
To celebrate the importance, and there's one little thing which is very right, celebrate the importance. From this side, can you tell me why have they got these, all 83, 94, 86, they'll tell you only around that time. Why? Why didn't they have it 100 years back?
The advancements of modern day technology enabled humans to explore their surroundings, which later led to these dates.
Very good answer, but it is got another facet to it. Can you tell me? Can you tell anybody? The idea was the world recognized the need that if we do not protect some of the spaces, some of the concepts, if we do not take care of different things, different aspects of life, heritage being one of them, we might lose it. So your point which you just said, collaborates for the fact that there was a little deterioration in the thinking of pride towards heritage. So immediately if somebody says, come on, let me break that church, let me break that temple, will you allow it? Never. And the choice would always be, let's look at what other options we have to do it. So that is how, and this year's theme is discover and experience diversity. So that means there is still so much to discover, isn't it? And believe me, I don't have that much time to take you, but just now, Vasu Garu, director who's asked me to come and speak, I'm ever so thankful to do it, telling Jyoti madam that we would like to do a complete documentation with our students at all the sites. Because speaking of heritage in a PowerPoint presentation is not a very joyful thing for me, but I would love to take you to those sites, those lovely, lovely different spaces where you can actually feel what would have happened 1,000 years back, 2,000 years back, few years back, and what was the mystery behind all these. Okay, next. Our culture shapes who we are. It's our identity and personality. So today, if suppose some of us go out of this country, what do you wear? What do you normally wear? A trouser, a t-shirt, and maybe a jacket if it's cold. Do you look Indian? No? You will always look Indian. Your facial features, the way you are, the minute you say hello, good morning, you can't imitate them in their language, there will be an accent. And the first question would be looking at the way you look or your smile or whatever. They will know you're from a different place, isn't it? Then they'll say, where are you from? I'm from India. And then, oh no, you're someplace very gorgeous. Why are they asking me about India? But then, even before they can ask you for the question and they say, where in India, you will want to tell them. That never happens in our heart. In our heart, it is always, I hope someone asks me about India. I hope someone asks me, what is it about India? Because you love, suddenly, nobody in India asks you that. So when you go out, when you really travel, that's when you know how beautiful it is to be in India. Just now in my biodata, they said 36. I've been to 41 as of last year. Okay? And the last one was Uzbekistan. And I had ample opportunities to talk about, they kept insisting that it is Hindustan. And I had American friends, but then everybody looked at me and without even, or whatever dress I was wearing or whatever, but still they all said, Hindustan? And I would say yes, and then say something. It was so wonderful because they felt Babur came from Samarkand right up till India and that he has taken it. I mean, not the way we look at it. They say that we made partnership, we were relationship. So beautiful to hear about how they look at our country and the feelings about our country. So that's how. Their culture is more than our traditions. It's a way thinking, a set of values influencing our behavior. So it's not just mama did puja, daddy did something, but it is how it all came over these years. So many things have come over the years, the way we comb, the way we put our bottu, the way you welcomed me, everything. You do that even for a foreigner who comes. And immediately he or she takes that feeling back and makes it very, very welcome. Oh, is that the way they do it? So that's how it is. Isn't it gorgeous? so many of our things. Just like we enjoy our Indianness, we would love to enjoy another country's welcome, another country's dance, music. So every country has it. Natural, cultural heritage are treasures of human diversity. Heritage, you know the meaning, can one person tell me? You tell me? Yes?
Heritage means culture and tradition.
Okay. You need to have only one more word for it. Yes. Yeah, tradition, culture. Please sit down.
Heritage, history, our past.
Huh?
Heritage means our past.
Our past. So what is the word for past?
History.
History, yes.
Legacy.
Legacy or inheritance. It's our legacy, it is our inheritance of past, cultural, tradition, stories, sites, natural. That means even a beautiful mountain, the water bodies, everything is part of it. Okay? Our monuments speak volumes about our values and connects us to our roots, reflecting our ancient heritage. I will not explain this because as we go forward in my presentation, I'll have lots to talk about that. But remember, our monuments speak for themselves. They keep their own voice and they share. The next one is our aesthetic legacies define our national identity and rich cultural richness. I think Jyoti ma'am will remember in 2008 we had American students right here in Vizag. Okay? And as soon as they came, there were 28 students. Their only interaction with students was at Sri Prakash, and so many interactions we had. When I went there, within the first 10-15 days, the children would ask me such wonderful questions. But believe me, my answers were very tiny. Yeah, they did that. Very good, very good. Why did they do it? Because that's custom. That's custom. That's how they do it. I did not know the depth of the answer. We can have a general answer, but not the depth of the answer. That's when I realized how someone else looks at us, how someone else feels these, wants to know the meanings of these things, and it is our responsibility to give them the depth of the meaning. Ante mam cheppindi chestunnan ante. Ala kakanta something more in depth. Okay? Preserving heritage preserves identity and pride. So when you break things, remove things, don't prefer to make a mall out of it, what will happen? It gets lost, its identity gets lost. Yeah. My heritage, Visakhapatnam, my pride. You already know that I stand here and I love Vizag. It's my pride. I enjoy it. And sharing it is the only way I feel I'm communicating, I am getting forward with what it is. Because I love Vizag, I love Vizag with my room inside the mirror. I can't tell. This is where we have to speak out. So, before that, that picture is, do you know where it is? Huh? RK Beach? It's known as a Scandal Point. And this was a picture taken by one of the first photographs of Vizag, 1904. Okay? So, they have taken this picture and this is how it looked at that time. Okay? The next one. So, what did we say was our theme this year? World Heritage? Diversity, isn't it? And nobody, I don't think anyone, many cities can spell out this unity in diversity. From the ocean, a ship is sailing, coming towards Vizag. What do they see? This is what they see. The unique feature of Vizag that greets the eye of every seafarer from the ocean. This is a 1940s picture. The next one. Yeah. They see the church on top, the temple and the mosque. All the three, without even turning the head, you can see it up front. That is unity in diversity, where faith is practiced right there by so many years. Before you go to the next one, please, no. Yeah. Can you tell me among the three faiths which is the oldest there?
The mosque.
Huh? I know I'll get the variety of answers, but I will share with you it was the mosque. And this mosque has got epigraphic proof of 12, the next one. It has got an inscription which is 1257 AD, meaning before the Mughal rule came also, this masjid was there, up on the hill. It came by a Sufi saint from Medina, and his name was Sayyid Ali Ishq Medina Rahmatullah, and that is where he was buried, so it's called the Dargah. And this is actually a painting done in I think, when is it? 1775. Yeah, oh, I've already written it nice and bold. Good, you're looking at the slides. Good girls. 1775. Okay? So that's when this is there. So that is the epigraphic proof of saying that it was one of the, so if the epigraphic proof is 1257, it must have been much earlier than that. Obviously. Someone died and they buried them there. So this masjid must have been older. So they were practicing that day, and believe me, from the church, from the masjid records, they say that not a single day has been stopped from that day till now. They pray every day. For 1,000 years plus, they pray every day. Can you believe it? So just when you actually stand there, climb up those steps, which is nearly 1,000 odd years, and you reach up the height and you look at the ocean, you will feel how seafarers must have looked at it. And if they were at crisis at sea, they would say, please save us. Whichever faith they practice, please save us. We'll come back to Vizag and give you a silver dhoni. Dhoni is not our cricketer, but it's a small boat, silver boat. Next one, ma'am. The temple is the next, and it was built in 1866. That particular shield-like thing is there even now in the temple. And it says, Captain Blackmore built it. And you see, this does not have the typical Gopuram usual one. It's a pyramidal shape. That is because he wanted to be creative. He was Captain Blackmore. He wanted to. It was existing temple over there, and they did that. Next one. Can you see it? Yeah? Next. Yeah. This is the Ross Hill Chapel, and it has a massive story. I've taken two groups of students from here. You all are young. That was the older group. Maybe we will do one more here. It has a fascinating set of stories, and my walk there is called 180 Degrees and 8 Stories. I am not going to tell you the stories now. So the Ross Hill was built in 1904, and it is an exact replica of the St. Aloysius, of St. Francis, of French chapel, which is belonging identical. If someone takes two photographs and said which one is France, which one is Vizag, you can't guess. They built it so beautifully with those beautiful, that architectural style is known as crenate towers. Okay. Now this slide, there's a lot written. You know why? I don't want you to read it also. Yeah, because we have that much people who have been engaging with us. But the proof of their engagement is there in one of the next slides. We had Kalingas, we had, one second, can we go back? Can we go back? Yeah. We had Kalingas, Chalukyas, Cholas, the Mughals, French, British, and of course whatever happened post the British, that is now what we are looking after. Each one have a story which is difficult to share right here. But there's one monument in our own existence right now which will speak about one part of the rulers who were having part of Vizag in their dynasty. Yes, next one. These are different names of Vizag over the years. Vishaka, Kulotunga Cholapatnam. All this goes to show the different names are all to show how Portuguese thought of, Dutch thought of it, how French did it, how the Portuguese traders spoke about. Each one had an accent to Vizag. If we have the time, I will show you how people pronounce this name later. Next one. Before, have you ever heard this name? What is the meaning of Patnam? Huh? Town or city? Very good. But it's an incomplete answer. It is a town, it is a city, fine, but it's an incomplete answer. Which is by the ocean or sea, Patnam. Okay. So there was a place called Kulothunga Patnam. Have you ever heard of it? You're sure? Never? Okay. Visakhapatnam was known Kulothunga Patnam for 18 months. Yeah, next one. And this is the inscription of the rock in Tamil. And this rock is there in our museum. Vishaka Museum, you know where it is on the beach? It is right there. Yeah, you can put that. So it says, in 1083, the Chola Raja, when he felt Kulothungan, felt so happy about what it was. This place, by the ocean, coconut trees, golden sands, blue waters. Wow, what a place. This is part of my dynasty. So obviously the pride is there, it's part of my dynasty. So then he said, Idikaprama in the per, Uru per, Kulothunga Patnam vechirla. That's in Tamil. Okay? So he named it Kulothunga Patnam. This is something which you never knew, no? Something you got to know for the first time. Carry on. So this is where it is. All of you are familiar with this? Yeah? All of you are familiar. What do you do when your parents take you or when you go there? What do you do?
Pray to the God.
Pray to the God. So what do you do? By the time you reach the last step, Kallu Moosi sit. Rendu chel danam petsa, I wish I get my, I wish I pass my exams. That's all we do, no? Most of the time, Kallu Moosko, danam petko. That is how we are told. But actually, this space is spelling out the Chalukya's architecture, Kalinga architecture and the Chola architecture. But we don't see. Nobody tells us. There are 96 pillars and each pillar has got a different sculpture on it. The kings of those times wanted to say how great they are, how mighty they are, what elephants they did, what wars they won. But we are not looking, nobody is telling. And what, your mom also did it, your dad also did it, probably your grandmother also did it. So we never know the heritage of our own place where people have been visiting about it. Ammo, Simachalam killada leda, avuna. Antegani, deen gurinchi avadu cheppalede. But every stone there speaks, talks about it, and wanting to be telling their story. In fact, a chakram then man kallu mooskodanka. I'll check in then because manam chostamani, ardham cheskuntamani, and over 350 inscriptions are there, which tells which king came, who gave jewelry, what jewelry, when was it, how many cows, how much milk, how are they making the chandana, all those are there. But yavaru chappar manke. And I love telling all these stories. It's so beautiful. In fact, Sri Prakash, I think was maybe in 17 or something, we climbed the steps. We climbed the steps and climbed up to the temple. Oh, it was a fascinating experience. Shall we do it again? Yes. We'll do it. Yes. Next slide. So this is our coastline, which is 135 kilometers of coastline. So when you have land touching the waters, next slide. We have hydrosphere, lithosphere, biosphere and atmosphere. You understand all of them, no? So, but then I have to tell you anyway. So hydrosphere is a massive water body, the ocean. All the other water bodies which is backwaters, because the ocean comes in and the natural waters, the fresh water mixes over there. Backwaters we have, streams we have water bodies in those areas, we have waterfalls coming in our areas. All that is nothing but hydrosphere. Hydro meaning water, is it? Lithosphere is a rocky formations. So you just imagine, okay, so what happens is when the water keeps touching, when the water keeps flowing into the rocks, into the mountains, into the plants, it becomes shapes. That is the lithosphere. Biosphere is nothing else but all the different trees, the flora and everything that grows only because of that humidity, only because it is by the coast area. How many of you know that the Eastern Ghats is older than the Western Ghats? We don't know, no? Doesn't matter, I am telling you, it's older. So we have a lot more, but unfortunately Western Ghats is well documented, well census is done about the foliage and fauna, flora also. Unfortunately Eastern Ghats, we have not done it. Our endangered species have died also, gone also. We still don't have record of it, but that's how we are, doesn't matter. Then the last one is atmosphere. The atmosphere is nothing. When you go to Hyderabad, it's hot. Why is it hot? So hot. It's piercing. Why? There's less humidity. We have humidity. So like that, in connection to all the different aspects by living at the coastline, we have atmosphere. That is our heritage. The trees, the birds, the fauna, everything is our heritage. Next slide, please. So while we are by the ocean, there is a lifestyle there. Fishermen, boat building, trading, people coming from all over. We have a completely different lifestyle there. Next one. Yeah. What does this remind you of? Huh? Shipwreck.
Shipbuilding.
Yeah. It's a combination of the two. Because they were building it, Hudhud came and it became a wreck. So both of you are right. But I think this picture is a very fascinating picture for me. It's because their lives, climate, heritage, the ocean line is being occupied, taken away by buildings, construction, hotels and everything. Their lifestyle is just as damaged, and every time they try to build it, but it is damaged. But there is a fisher folk stories, fisher folk music, fisher folk food, fisher folk how they get up in the morning, sleep early. Many parts of the world celebrated. You have complete tourism around, very, very sustained, very carefully done, but we have nothing like that. One day, our biggest hope is that we should be able to do it. So the point is that we had the Satavahanas in the last century BC and the early century CE. That is our common era. They were one of the first dynasty that had dual mast ships, which was very unique for the world, very unique for the world. And not only that, they were one of the first dynasty in Asia around where we've catalogued the punching of coins with these ships. They have found those. And people who deal with numismatics and basically with coins, you know that? It's a study of the coins, people who collect these coins. We have a neurosurgeon who collects and speaks about it, and I saw it myself because he brought those coins on one of the shows. Awesome to see that 2000 years ago they punched it. So one thing, let me ask you a question. Would Satavahana, somebody ordered punching of the stories? Imagine that I will be speaking today, 2000 years later, to children of Sri Prakash Vidyaniketan about the beauty of those coins. Would they have imagined? No. one thing we must learn from all this is every period of life, we are the most modern at that moment. You got that? We are the most modern at that time, and while being modern, we are going to be remembered probably 2000 years from now. So what are we doing collectively as a community, as citizens, as the country, as the world? What are we doing to make something fabulously fascinating for someone to talk about 2000 years from now? Isn't it? Yeah. You can go forward. Yeah. Next one. Yeah, this is what it is. Indian ship lead coin, Vashishthaputra of the Satavahanas during the 1st and 2nd century CE. CE is Common Era. Next. This is the museum. They don't have the coins, but they have the double mast picture. They've carved one. Yeah. It is a museum, Visakhapatnam museum. Have you ever been there? Yes, ma'am. Yeah. It's very hot. Next. So we had the maritime heritage in 2016. Again, very recently this year we did February, Milan we did. So it is very interesting because we are inviting navies of the world to celebrate our ancestry, our legacy, as one of the teachers said, our inheritance of our coastline. We are known as the Eastern Naval Command, ENC. Next slide. So this is the celebration in 2016 when we had the IFR. This is me with about 6 different navies of the world. Yeah, 6 or 7 navies of the world. It's a wonderful feeling to be part, because as I said at the very beginning, cultural diversity is interesting only when we share it, when we go ahead and talk about it. Next one. There is a video, if we have time I will show you. But when we say maritime heritage, it's not people, stories alone. It is the living creatures that are there at the bottom of the ocean. And Vizag has some tremendous life in the marine world. Next. So while we speak about the marine world, if I have time, I will show you that. But while we have coasts, we will have sunk ships too. So 1917, just after the Titanic, which sunk there, one ship sunk near Srikakulam, near Barua. Even today, one part of the ship sticks out, less than 3 kilometers away from the coastline, okay, at a depth which is there. And there the entire ship can be seen. There are scuba divers who take you there to show you, and because of the ship, the fish and the creatures of the sea have grown up to the full level. So you will actually see at one shot, which I have done. I feel very happy to go and have a look at it. It's beautiful. Next. So this is the ship. This is just a representative picture of how people could have been saved at that period of time. Nearly 3,000 people were saved at that time. So it beat even the Titanic record. Only 2 people died, and those 2 also, because of fear, they jumped over the ship. But all the others were brought down. Bales of cotton, which was going from Chennai to Rangoon, Madras to Rangoon, burnt on the ship, and that is why SOS had to happen. Next one. 1 minute, let it be there. No. Yeah, this is our coastline, and this is from some place which we can see. This coastline looks beautiful. So obviously it is an attractive place. If you see something as beautiful as this, with this kind of a curve, you will go back home and say, you're a trader from another place. You go back and they ask you to describe. How will you describe? Marvelous. Will you have it? I mean, much better than me. So, yeah. So this is where, this is Totlakonda. So how many of you know the other sites besides Totlakonda? Bojjanakonda. Huh? Kambalkonda Buddhist site kaadu kani konde. Any more? Any more? Huh? Konde, but it is not Buddhist site. మా ఇల్లు కొండ మీదే ఉంది. Bavikonda, have you heard of it? Where is it? Horrible person, no? Keep asking silly questions. Where is Bavikonda? Half a kilometer as the crow flies from Totlakonda. It's that close by. Just there it is. And one more is Pauralakonda. Okay, these are all our Buddhist sites. Whereas in the 4 districts, that is Srikakulam, Vijayanagaram, Visakhapatnam and East Godavari, we have 39 Buddhist sites. Some are excavated, maybe 75, 80, that is the best. Some are not even excavated, 30%. And in Vijayanagaram, what is it? I forget the name, I'll get it. But it's like as though you are going to be the excavator. It's all there. And you will see the bricks, you will see the rock formations, you will see all that right there. Gurubattalakonda. Oh my God. It has such a story. Same thing with Pauralakonda. If you climb with me, there is a process I will take you. If I leave you alone, you will think you are an archaeologist excavating yourself. It's beautiful because they stopped excavating for lack of. Correct. Who's that hero? Correct. Most of our life we are lack of funds. Yes. Next. And Totlakonda, Tottu means water. Water cistern. Next. These are all the rock formations. Every rock formation has a story I am not going to tell. Over there only I will tell. Next. This also has got another very big story. I will tell later. But this story or that story, it's a sense of pride. It's a sense of respect. It's a sense of so much that people from all over the world, not only the Buddhists, visitors, they all choose to come here and spend time. This is from Bavikonda excavations. Unbelievable story, because I have the excavation notes and I'll be able to show you how they did it 2000 years ago. How could they have built that much? It was an educational institution. Both these are known as Bauddha Ramams, which is a one level higher than many of the Sangha Ramams that are there in our country. Next. This is Bojjanakonda, also a very big story. Yeah. 2020, this was chosen as the entire state. They said choose one heritage site to have the national greetings, because they were making a huge video of heritage sites that year, and they chose for Andhra this site, and the Navy played the band. The armed forces was asked to play band. In some places Army played, Air Force played. For us the Navy played at Bojjanakonda. Next. How many of you seen this? You've seen it. It's a natural arch. What is the meaning of this? Why is it so important? The beauty of nature, correct? But why? Correct. It has been carved by the ocean of its constant contact over the years. So how long did the water sit and carve it? Million is right. 1 point something something. Geologists have lovely stories to tell you about it. But when we are there, I'll be able to share a few things. Yes. And anyway, we all take selfies. Wilfie is all there and distraught, but we can't help it. Next. Yeah. So this is every rock there. A geologist will tell you how beautifully they were found. Why did it get that particular shape? Next one. Why did it get? So wave cut peneplain, sheath cut structures. If you really look, if somebody knowledgeable and you look and you'll see it, each one of them has got a way that the ocean has been addressing it, rather touching it over a period of time, that is millions of years, to get it. So Tennety Park had both these in ample. You know Tennety Park? But then without knowing, without acknowledging, without understanding, they removed it and made it into a park. Without even giving samples of this over there. So that's what it is. Now that we are more knowledgeable, now that we are more effective in all this, we should be able to. So Is it a good thing to have a park when we remove our geological? I know it is a no, but then we just don't get it. Even if we left that much peace to talk about it, it would be good enough and have a park. But somehow we cut off trees, we cut off all that. Today when we say let's understand, let's discover, let's look at it, let's embrace our diversity in our heritage. Yeah, this is tide pooling. This is nothing else but when the full moon night is going to be there, that afternoon, the ocean goes right at the back in the afternoon. So what happens is you are able to walk on the rocks. Has anybody been on rock pooling or tide pooling?
Yes.
You've been? And they'll tell you all the different creatures that are there, no? And they'll be able to explain how they survive, what they do, and they all do it.
Ma'am, mainly we can find crustaceans.
Yeah, crustaceans and also the other evolved creatures that are there. You can see so much. So these are all geological formations which is also part of our heritage. So why are we saying let's look at all these things? These are most important because you will never be, they took 1 point some million years and today overnight fatak we removed them. I mean, what's wrong with us? It's only because ignorance, lack of care and lack of empathy, because it doesn't belong to us now, it belongs to our future generations. At least we have samples today. Tomorrow probably even those samples won't be there, and that's problem even with the other one which you can go next. Yeah, next. Yeah, this is the next. How many places in the country have this? This expanse of Yerra Matti Dibbalu red sand dunes. Have you heard of it? Yerra means red, Matti, Dibbalu, shapes. So just imagine, come with me. If I tell you, make a dibba which is that height, and I give you a spoon this size, and I give you turmeric powder and say make it that high, will you be able to do it in your lifetime? No. Because only this much is your spoon. You imagine that's how the world or the earth takes to make some formations like this. And it's not found across any other coastal area. It's only found here. And it's taken millions of years to do it. And it is also because if you cut the dibba lengthwise, you will actually see the different colors, which will tell you how much of the sea came in, how much of the sea water it took to come out, how much rain did it have, what kind of pelting happened. The whole story can be told. Like if I cut a cake and you see green, what will you say it is? Yeah, very good. If you see brown, you see red. Exactly. And you see white? Absolutely. So that's how geologists look at this. Just like even without the cake, so sad, I'm sorry I couldn't give you a piece, but that's how it is. That's how it is. So this is how, and the red sand dunes, as we say, red is because of the ferrugination. And the process is beautiful. When we go to these sites, you'll be able to understand it so much better. Next. Of course, people go there, mess it up, picnics, throw stuff. It's so bad. So much so there's a huge old cashew, because that's what holds the sand. That's what holds the soil for making plots. This particular year, they removed huge part of the cashew plantation. So next time it rains, what will happen? Nothing to hold the sand, everything will come down. We would absolutely destroy the Yerra Matti Dibbalu. So that's where we are today. Yeah. Now, the tribal area was part of our district till 2023 April. I have been contributing, participating with the tribal children since 2005-06, with a gap in between, but from 2015, I have been part of their lives on almost an everyday basis, with community, with youngsters, with school children. Shri Prakash Vidyaniketan has hosted 32 young girls, I think in the year 2017 or 18, January 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, and they returned on 30th. And we stayed at Pendurti, and we did all our function right here at TPT. The children came, they spoke about their languages, their festivals and everything, and took back a lot of warmth and friendship from you too. Please. This is me with the tribal children. Those are jackfruit leaves. That leaf itself and making caps is a huge thing of distinction. For different functions, they make different kinds of caps. Yeah. This is the cultivation. One of the best way of farming, that is no chemicals used in fertilizers, organic farming, has been done since thousands of years there. And that was how we all farmed everywhere. Only about 40-50 years, we've introduced all kinds of fertilizers, chemicals, but then they have continued to do it, not only not using it, they understand the soil, they change seeds and they plant differently. It's a huge story with seeds, cultivation, planting, farming, methodology, and these are the seeds that they do, and they call it Pata Vittanala Pandaga. Pandag cheskuntaranamata allu vittanalu farming toti. Okay? Yeah. So these are the tribes: Bhagata, Kondu, Valmiki, Gadaba, Kondadora, Kapur, Kutiyas, and they speak different languages. It is as different as Bihari and Tamil. Yeah. No two languages are alike. And let me tell you, suppose the sun comes up, what do you call it? Sun goes up at 10 o'clock. Do you have a name for it? No, Surya only, yaar. But at 10 o'clock, do you have a sun name? 12 o'clock, do you have? Noon. And then 3 o'clock you have? 4 o'clock you have? Then when it goes down? Sunset. That's what we use in our language. Do you know in Telugu it is there? Any words? No. Huh? Same Madhyakara, same Alag Madhyano and that only, no? Kui Bhashlo, they have 20 words which tell you the entire sunrise and sunset. So without saying Padakun Gantal Yanda, Kakanta alako peruntad danki. So you imagine the grammar and the language strength that they have. Next. This is for the Patavitnal, one from the Valmiki tribe, that they've all come and they're celebrating. Uregistaranmata. You understand the word uregichno? They go around the village celebrating all that. Next. Huh? Yeah. Jagatrai. Tall man is correct. So this is the Warli, the Savara art. This is the Savara art which they utilize here. Savara art belongs to which area? To the Savara tribe, but which area? No. Srikakulam area. Next. So all of you know about the Dimsa dance? We've seen it, so many. But unfortunately what we don't know, that Dimsa dance comes in 10 to 15 varieties based on the village, based on the community, based on the function. Whether it is a birthday, when the child, they don't have birthdays, they have birth. Someone's born, someone's wedding, some great man is coming, another villager is coming, someone died, something else. So many functions, they have different dances. But what we see is a tourism dance, which we see. Next. So this is one of the old photos which a Britisher has taken of the Dimsa dance, where the men and women have been doing it, and this is a very, very prized photo for me. Next. This is of one of the villages there, Devudvalsa, which I go very often. Next. This is also Devudvalsa only on another time. All this has been, the children in the tribal schools don't have a curriculum which speaks about heritage. So if you don't know, now so many things you don't know. Your director, your teachers want me to come and speak, because only when you realize it will you understand what it is all about. So if a tribal is told that you have your language is very good, your surroundings are very rich, but if the school does not tell you, the curriculum doesn't tell you, nobody speaks about it, and if you speak your language, mother tongue, you are beaten. Because they have to learn Telugu and English. So that is how they do it. So they feel talking mother tongue is a crime, which is not what the others wanted, but that's how it appears. So when that is there, I decided, since I work in the area, I've been there, collated all these data and made a book called Girijana Vaibhavam, which I published. I don't read and write Telugu because I'm a naval officer's daughter, but I can read to some extent. I got an author to do it, and this is the book. 5,000 books have been distributed in 19. This year end, we are distributing another 5,000. The second edition is coming, and for the first time we are having an English edition too, so that everybody understands the beauty of Girijana Vaibhavam, grandeur of our tribal area. You can clap properly. Next. So how many of you know that the coffee of Araku is very, very strong? Yes. How many of you know that it is now sold in Paris? There's a shop in Paris, you know it. And how many of you know that they have offices in 18 countries in the world? Araku coffee. And that's how it is. So that's how popular Araku coffee is. Next. The flora and fauna in Eastern Ghats. Please continue. This is the Borra Caves, which is again a geological site, and it's from 1 point so many million years. It's got stalactites and stalagmites. Stalagmites are from where? From top is stalactites, ceiling, C, stalactites. Stalagmites, G, ground. Yeah. So the drops are there. It is acidic, limestone, and a combination which creates this, and it takes millions of years to form one big. Okay. Next. You like that creature? That's the bat that lives in Borra Caves. Today they put DDT, they put everything, put lights, and the complete fauna of that space is removed. The bats no longer live there. You still see them, but still not like how the community of the bats was. Next. Yeah. This is a Russell viper snake, one of the 4 poisonous snakes. This was found the first time in our Eastern Ghats in the year 1802, between 1801 and 1802, he documented this in our Eastern Ghats and presented it to the East India Company in a huge book with the fauna of, and that's when the world got to know about the Russell viper, which is another poisonous snake. Wow, no? Yeah, next. The small wild cat, rusty spotted cat. This is a wild cat, like a small wild cat, like the lion and the others. And this is the smallest, and it is only about 1.5 kgs, and it is found in Kambalkonda. This is a photograph taken by somebody, whether you know him. EGWS Murthy talks about snakes and all. He took this picture. Next one. And we have, I said Eastern Ghats is one of the oldest, no? Kambalkonda has almost all the native species of those times. Just like the Eastern Ghats, our hills have, Kambalkonda also has. Next. 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 Yes. Do you know this bird? It's known as a hoopie. Yeah? Hoopie. It's found in Kambalkonda. It's called the hudhud in Omani's language. That particular year, Oman had to give a name for cyclones. If the next cyclone that comes, they gave hudhud. This bird is called hudhud in the Omani's language. It's there in Kambalkonda. And why is it so? Why did they give this bird? It's because just before a cyclone or the weather changes, the shrill voice of it, the normal call is different, chirping is different, but before the weather changes, it changes its call, and that is why they say it gives you a significant alarm saying that a cyclone is going to come. Okay, next. Yes, question?
Actually, I would like to add a tale in Arabic which is written and that mentions this bird many times.
Really? Hudhud.
Yeah, and that tale is almost about 800 years old.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Which part of have you?
Actually, I read it. It's one of the archives.
Archives. Wonderful. Thank you. So this is me on the heritage walks. I take lots and lots of people on heritage walks, share them. There's a non-stop request for me to take them, and I keep doing it. Next. This is one of the oldest physical maps of 1758. Here it's just I will be able to explain it to you when we are on the site. You'll understand it. Next. This is also another map which is 1907. Yeah, next. So we take people on a 10-point walk explaining the heritage monuments of the area, which is about 2.8 kilometers. This is the town hall in 1929. You've heard of the Dundee Salt March? Yes. So the world did it, I mean the country did it, but here also we did a significant one opposite the town hall where we also said this is what it is, and on that particular period of time, Gandhiji visited Vizag and spoke to people at this space. I don't have photos of it. It was in a dilapidated condition, but we heritage enthusiasts, the town hall which you saw the black and white picture, became absolutely worthless. People thought we should remove it. But would you like to remove it? No. So enthusiasts who came on the walk kept writing, kept talking. We did some kind of protests also over there. And then at that time, the GVMC commissioner, who was a conservation architect, decided, and 2 buildings got conserved, and this is the building that got conserved. Isn't it wonderful? Yeah, next. This is the town hall, the road where people would shop over here. Today it is dug up and the whole area is removed. Everything that is heritage, old building fronts, everything has been removed. So soon the only thing that will remain with us are photographs. Next. Yeah. Next. Next. Yeah. So this, I don't know how many of you heard of it. It's a Kurpam market. If anybody is from Vizag, their grandparents would have shopped over there in one town. This is how it looked. Every part of it has got a significant architectural importance in it. Just like it was a combination of the Indian and British architecture. One day it was like this, next later, after that it went away from the scene completely. November 19, 2013, they put a dynamite and brought it down. Yeah. Who said why? Who said why? Okay. Good question. We also asked the same question. Why? And they didn't have an answer. And you know what they said? Mala kattichestandi. Ante anta telugo chudu. That administration mala kattichestandi. Ela kattistavu? You mean, so that question why, even today I question myself, why? Next. And this very close by is the cemetery which the oldest grave is 1633 and the most latest one is 1832. It has 50 graves and we actually spent time. Next. And that's the garbage underneath. And every grave has got Bengal tiles, pavilions, obelisks. It's called nativity funeral architecture. Example which very few, only in Bimli it is there, here it is there. It has that much. And we are almost, that is how we take care of it. Next. This is how it looks when it's clean. We spent about 58 days. One gentleman by the name Edward Paul, myself, we are all members of a heritage club which all of you are also part of, called the Intact Club. So that is when we got it cleaned. Next. And here one of them says that there was a huge Sepoy mutiny here in the year 1780, 3rd October. And here it says on the roads. So the mutiny was, the sailors came, took away, kidnapped the governor or collector of the place, and at Kasim Kota everything got done and they were put behind bars. But then when we say 1857 was the first mutiny, Vizag streets almost had the first mutiny. It is recorded in their written gazette and also inscribed on this tombstone which is there right in that cemetery. Next. This is Queen Victoria Pavilion. When we do a walk, I will tell you more, because here it's elaborate and it's a beautiful story about the economic capital of Visakhapatnam. Next. Carry on, I'll tell you more. Just go on. Yeah, this is the last. You've seen this? St. Aloysius, 1847. It has a massive story. The entire English education started with them, and there's a huge story to it. Next one. So while we've spoken about so many parts, all these things were made, carving done right here on ivory, tortoise shell. So many things are there called the lost stories. Next. This one is an ivory box carved, and it has the dolphin hill on top, the boats coming, and this was a prized possession of every sailor when he left. Sailor meaning a British or a European sailor who left this place. This is a tea caddy. Those days tea was not available. They would put tea inside, lock it up and take it back as a gift to the world, wherever they are. The next one. So I come to the end of my talk. We understand what is told and shared. Today you've understood quite a bit, isn't it? We love what we understand, and we will protect only when we have what we love. So today is, what was the theme of our talk? So what you've not even touched the tip of the iceberg. So when you come on these walks at these sites, you'll suddenly remember or realize how important all this is to you always. Thank you so much.
Does anyone have any questions?
Oh yeah. Yes.
How would you name the tribes? Like we are naming some of the tribes.
We have not named them. The tribal names have come down from centuries. Okay? So in their languages, Konga could be that they are from the hills. Adivasi Oriya they speak. They could have done that. Valmiki is nothing else but richness. So they would have named themselves God knows when.
Like how would we understand their language? Like how are they?
It is what you make effort, you spend time. There are people who learn Telugu, so you sit time, I sit with them. In fact, it's a good question that you asked. I've been asking children to speak about their village, community, because it's not asked in their school. So one girl in the 7th standard comes and sings a beautiful song. And that song is about pottery, because all her forefathers also are in pottery. And she sings the song, And she knows one thing is that madam will definitely ask for explanation. And she was telling me that one piece of clay which is lying on the side is talking to the other piece of clay which is being turned by the potter's wheel. So this little bit of mud which is not being touched is saying, I'm feeling so sad because I'm not in the hands of the potter's embrace, shape, creativity. She didn't say all this, but I'm explaining it to you. So the pot says, don't cry. I could not have been what I am if I was not there. My beginning is there. That's what it is. Because I went back to the village to ask what it means slowly by slowly. And I think when the person explained it to me, half in Telugu, half in their language, I almost had tears coming down. Because how sensitive are they if they are able to give a voice to a lump of clay. Beautiful, huh?
Actually, I have a
Yes, like she raised her hand, then you do it. Yes.
Actually, you told this chess box, right?
Huh.
Mom, I was thinking about that.
Which one?
The chess box at the last.
Yeah, the last slide was a box. It's known as a tea caddy. Caddy is a measurement of particular, like pound, kg we say. Tea was measured in caddy. Anything else in that small quantities were measured in South Africa by caddies. So that is known as a tea caddy because it can hold one caddy in it. So that was made of ivory and it was carved right here in Vizag. Yavar chesivarante Kamsalodu chesivaru. Kamsalodu chesivaru. Bangaram chesinattugaane idi kuda chesivaru annamata. Dani meeda there is a dolphin nose, the hill. The dolphin knows how it got its name. Like it just asked how did they get the tribe name. Yeah, who named it dolphin nose?
Mom, because of the popularity of that.
No. There was a ship in 1712 that was drawing out the coastline. They named it. So it has to have a factual fact somewhere. Otherwise, name ee mukku aa mukku anachchu kada. E mukke anachchu. So alaga, there is always a factual thing about it. So that is the story on the cat.
Mom, and one more question is, you told about the samples that create completely clear that Kennedy Park.
Yeah.
Are these samples restored?
No, not from there. But the same things are there in other parts of the ocean.
Are they at least a little bit stored, that piece of...
Not stored, it's there existing. But we would like to have a geological museum so that they come up like this. Otherwise it will only remain in photographs.
Mom, means that they are completely extinct. Means they completely...
Only at the Tenanty Park one. But we have so much ocean like, no? We have so much ocean, these formations are there in others. But Tenanty had an alarmingly beautiful one. That way. Because the height is high, that means we actually know that the ocean came up that high. Once upon a time. So that is the proof, no?
Yes, ma'am.
That's the proof I'm talking about.
Thank you.
Well, yes, sir.
Actually, I have 3 doubts.
Please.
Actually, I have 3 doubts, ma'am. One related to the topic you explained, one partially related.
You get all the questions.
Okay, ma'am. First one. Vizag and Andaman and Nicobar Islands, almost, since I read in one book, almost both of them have the same history. And like even you mentioned the tribes, they're also the same. So like, how could 2 pieces of land being separated by thousands of kilometers have the same?
No, they're not the same kind.
It's not the same, but the type, the model, which the whole system is based on, the hierarchy, it's the same.
No, we had a different one. We had a Buddhist hierarchy. Prior to that, we had a fisherman colony. Every coast will have almost the same story. And the story remains that there are hills there, then tribes come. But tribes must have been there everywhere. Because that's how it is. But the interior land ones are different. So when you are by the coast, you will have fishermen, you will have traders, organizations. They don't have Buddhist sites, we have Buddhist sites. We have the colonial history, they have the colonial history. That is because they were ruling us. We have the small Mughal part, they don't have the Mughal part. So it's not really that.
And my second doubt is, what inspired you to become an expert in this field and study about all this?
Oh, what a lovely question. I love that. The point is, I retired and came here, and I was earning a lot in another part of the world and doing extremely well. But somebody, my husband, who wanted to settle in Vizag, being our hometown, said that that means you want to go somewhere else to earn and you don't have an ability to invest over here. It was quite an insult actually at that time. I got introduced to the tribal areas, and I think if I balance both of them, incomparable to what I was, and I love where I am, and that's when I took up heritage. And it's not easy because one has to learn a lot, one has to understand a lot, one has to assess everything. I can't be talking to so many students without facts, because any fact that I dilute, that's why in some places I said I won't talk, because I prefer to do it at the right time, at the right place, with the right things. On a PowerPoint presentation, it does not give it the grace and dignity. So that is what I did, and I'm getting ample opportunity, and that's where my whole thing is.
Ma'am, my last doubt is that which period of Vizag history do you find the most intimidating to explore, learn, and introduce to students?
Actually, none of them. They were intimidating to me as a person before. Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing justice to what I'm speaking? So every time I had it, I would further research and come back. This is my personal one. I will tell you about St. John's Church, though I skipped over here. We went into the church and came out, and I think he was maybe 9th or 10th standard. And he said, "Why is there an eagle there?" I had no idea. So I said, because it looks very nice and it flies very high. I said that blah blah blah, and I finished it up. He was happy, but I was not at all happy. Then I checked that in the Bible, the eagle is mentioned 23 times because of its flight, because of its access, because of its focus, because how it gets rid of its old feathers and grows new feathers. There are so much about it. So that's why they use the eagle at that period of Baptist churches.
Ma'am, so which is your favorite period, such as the medieval or the modern?
None of them. I like it. I enjoy sharing all, and I can go into depth with each one of them, where the archaeological sites are.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I have a doubt. You told that a building vanished, ma'am. How is it possible?
Dynamite boom.
Ma'am, were there any pieces like
Yes. Lot of pieces. Not only that, there was an entire frame. That frame was being saved. Today they don't know where it is. Lots of things have been saved, but they don't tell us where it is. Because it's many years. 2013. It is nearly now 11 years. Yeah, you're right.
Ma'am, so that was like a historical site or something?
Yes. It was built in commemoration of King Edward VII, who took over from Queen Victoria, his mother, and he was ruling at that time and he was supposed to come. He came also. So that is when we lost it. It was at that period of time.
Ma'am, so did they have any information or something to break that down?
They are the administration, they only had the permission. It's about dynamite. That's what is the fear. That's the fear. If the empathy is not there with the administration, they'll give you any amount of excuses to say, hey, that's all they give answer.
Ma'am, so they didn't build it again?
No.
How do you socialize with the tribes?
For me?
Yes.
All the children are studying in residential schools. So I stay with the children there.
Ma'am, it's like when you go to a particular tribe, you talk with them, and how do you socialize?
Modatlo you have a little bit of doubt and all that, and I drive myself and go alone. So I'm quite a different kind of a person. But now they think of me as a family member in all the places. Are the patal partana?
Is it actually good for the tribe to socialize with other communities, because it might destroy their heritage?
Okay, somebody comes from somewhere and they want you to become complete Japanese. You will not. You might learn Japanese. You might do everything, but will you stop being an Indian?
No.
That's exactly what it is. Good answer, no?
We would like to thank ma'am for connecting us with the culture and the roots of our heritage. Discovering and experiencing diversity, preserving and conserving our ethnicity, traveling into the past of our pride, which is our city, understanding the importance of protecting and educating, that is sharing our knowledge about our inheritance. This session indeed signifies the importance of embracing our tradition and legacy. I would like to thank our Director Sir for giving us such an opportunity to interact with such an eminent personality. Thank you once again.